channel. It's your girl Jess Royale, and I'm so happy that you guys are here back with me for another video and just here to hang out. I do really appreciate all of you, my new subscribers, my old subscribers. Thank you so much. Before I go through this video, I want to give a brief shout out to one of my friends. He's actually this dude I used to work with back in the day. He was the inspiration for me touching on the topic of COVID-19. As you guys know, I'm going to be rolling out a series of videos pertaining to COVID-19 for the next couple of Wednesdays. Wednesdays has become my hot topic Wednesday. So every Wednesday I'm going to be rolling out a new update, a new topic regarding a certain subject. Alright guys, so without further ado, let's talk about our topic for this week. Our topic this week is going to be COVID-19. Now I know when you guys hear that, you're like, oh my God, we are currently in a worldwide pandemic, and we've been in a pandemic for approximately a year now. Think about it, guys. This March makes COVID-19 happening as a pandemic in this world for one entire year. Okay, so this is a pretty serious situation. So COVID-19 is a contagious virus, okay? It attacks primarily the throat and lungs. So COVID inhibits the respiratory system from functioning correctly. In layman terms, it makes it hard for you to breathe. Now, let's talk about how you can contract COVID-19. There are many ways to contract this virus, okay? It is highly contagious, all right? COVID-19 can live up to 28 days on a smooth surface. Yep, you heard me, 28 days, depending on the temperature and the location of transmission. Perfect example, have you ever had a conversation with a friend that happened to be a spitter? Or have you ever had a friend that drools sometimes when they talk? Whatever, you know, people don't do these things on purpose. It just happens. We are naturally accumulating saliva in our mouths. And if we're not careful, or we're speaking too fast, or we're not noticing what we're doing, it can spew out. This is a way to contract COVID-19. So what COVID does to the body is it enters the cells. It enters your body by way of any open cavity, so your mouth, your nose, wherever is open that's receiving this saliva, this sputum, this droplet, however it's receiving it, right? The virus will then enter your body. It will go into your cells, and it will create its own DNA and multiply. Many infections and diseases function this way. The thing that makes COVID so rare is that it's extremely aggressive and hard to fight. So that is basically what's happening. It goes into your body, it creates its own DNA, and it multiplies, and it slowly weakens your immune system.
Symptoms of COVID-19. Before proceeding, please note that this general overview is compiled for initial self-assessment only and may vary for each individual. If you're not feeling well, you should immediately consult a medical practitioner to have an accurate diagnosis and proper treatment of COVID-19. The typical daily symptoms are concluded from the study of 138 patients at Zhongyang Hospital of Wuhan University, and another study involving 135 patients from Jinyintan Hospital and 56 patients from Wuhan Pulmonary Hospital. These symptoms are broken down into Day 1 to Day 2. The beginning symptoms are similar to the common cold, with a mild sore throat and neither having a fever nor feeling tired. Patients can still consume food and drink as usual. Day 3. The patient's throat starts to feel a bit painful. Body temperature reads at around 36.5 degrees Celsius. Although it's uncommon, other symptoms like mild nausea, vomiting, or mild diarrhea are possible to set in. Day 4. Throat pain becomes more serious. Other symptoms like feeling weak and joint pain start to manifest. The patient may show a temperature reading between 36.5 degrees to 37 degrees Celsius. Day 5 to 6. Mild fever starts. The patient show a temperature reading above 37.2 degrees Celsius. The second most common symptom, dry cough, also appears. Dyspnea or breathing difficulty may occur occasionally. Most patients in this stage are easily feeling tired. Other symptoms remain about the same. These 4 symptoms are among the top 5 key indications of COVID-19, according to the final report of the initial outbreak conducted by the Joint Mission of China and WHO. Day 7. The patients that haven't started recovering by day 7 get more serious coughs and breathing difficulty. Fever can get higher, up to 38 degrees Celsius. Patients may develop further headache and body pain, or worsening diarrhea if there's any. Many patients are admitted to hospital at this stage. Day 8 to 9. On the 8th day, the symptoms are likely to be worsened for the patient who has coexisting medical conditions. Severe shortness of breath becomes more frequent. Temperature reading goes well above 38 degrees. In one of the studies, day 9 is the average time when sepsis starts to affect 40% of patients. Day 10 to 11. Doctors are ordering imaging tests like chest X-ray to capture the severity of respiratory distress in patients. Patients are having loss of appetite and may be facing abdominal pain. The condition also needs immediate treatment in ICU. Day 12 to 14. For the survivors, the symptoms can be well managed at this point. Fever tends to get better and breathing difficulties may start to cease on day 13. But some patients may still be affected by mild cough even after hospital discharge. Day 15 to 16. Day 15 is the opposite condition for the rest of the minority patients. The fragile group must prepare for the possibility of acute cardiac injury or kidney injury. Day 17 to 19. COVID-19 fatality cases happen at around day 18. Before the time, vulnerable patients may develop a secondary infection caused by a new pathogen in the lower respiratory tract. The severe condition may then lead to blood coagulation and ischemia. Day 20 to 22. The surviving patients are recovered completely from the disease and are discharged from the hospital.
Total cases worldwide are more than 113 million cases worldwide. More than 2 million deaths, 2.5 to be exact worldwide. 85 million recovered cases, people who have survived. 24 million active cases as of today. And 214.2 million people who have been vaccinated. Most adults can be fully vaccinated by the end of September. And according to Johns Hopkins, United States has about 153 deaths per 100,000 people. It's extremely important that we get vaccinated, guys. It's extremely important. So I'm going to talk about some predisposing factors of COVID-19. There were so many statistics. I'm going to add these websites down below in my bio. There were many statistics that spoke on the fact that many patients who contracted COVID had underlying cardiac diseases. Also, after contracting COVID, ended up with cardiac issues. Now, let's talk about precaution. Let's talk about preventing us getting COVID-19. There are 3 ways universally that we can all protect ourselves from getting COVID-19. Number 1, wash your hands. Washing your hands is extremely important, whether we're fighting COVID-19 or just generally moving throughout the day. Washing your hands can prevent you from getting bacteria inside your body. If you could wash your hands over hand sanitizing, that's usually the best way to go. All right? But hand sanitizing is also efficient as well.
This video will cover some of the precautions and preventative measures to take regarding the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. Symptoms to look for include fever, shortness of breath, and coughing. If you suspect you have coronavirus, call your local hospital or doctor's office and explain your situation. They will direct you on the best course of action to take. Some preventative measures you can take are: stay home if you are sick, avoid large crowds or densely populated areas, cover your coughs and sneezes. Remember, it is best to cough or sneeze into the inner side of your elbow to avoid getting germs on your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Disinfect commonly used surfaces around the home and office to help curb the spread of the virus. The CDC recommends cleaning your phone at least once per day. Wash your hands frequently with soap for at least 20 seconds, and use hand sanitizer between washes or when you're on the go. With the tips in this video, you can help protect yourself and prevent the spread of the coronavirus and other respiratory viruses.
COVID-19 vaccine, a lot of people are so concerned about the virus. Most people do understand at this point, from having many, many years of experience getting the flu vaccine, that the COVID-19 vaccine is simply a small, very small fragment of the actual virus in its most weakest, most likely dead form that will be injected into the body. Okay? Now, when people hear that the actual virus will be injected, they immediately panic.
After we have been exposed to an infection, our immune system remembers the threat, in particular by producing antibodies. These are proteins that circulate in the blood and throughout the body. They quickly recognize and disable the invader upon contact, thereby preventing or minimizing illness. This is why we usually do not get sick with the same bug twice. We are immune. Vaccines mimic this process, encouraging the immune system to make antibodies without us having to go through the illness. Some of the leading SARS-CoV-2 vaccine candidates are mRNA vaccines, based on incorporating the genetic blueprint for the key spike protein on the virus surface into a formula that, when injected into humans, instructs our own cells to make the spike protein. In turn, the body then makes antibodies against the spike protein, and they protect us against viral infection. This strategy is faster than more traditional approaches, which often involve generating weakened or inactivated forms of a live virus, or making large amounts of the spike protein to determine whether they can prompt an antibody response. Once a potential vaccine is discovered, a number of checkpoints exist before it can be administered to people. First are preclinical tests, which involve experiments in a laboratory and with animals. Scientists must ensure the vaccine candidate is not only effective, but also safe. For example, an antibody response to an imperfect vaccine could, under extremely rare circumstances, end up increasing the danger of becoming infected. When the potential vaccine achieves the necessary preclinical results, clinical trials can begin. As the vaccine candidate advances, it is tested on increasing numbers of people, with scientists and doctors closely monitoring safety, efficacy, and dosing. Upon successful completion of clinical trials, the vaccine candidate must be reviewed and approved by regulatory agencies such as the FDA before large-scale manufacturing and distribution gets underway and the licensed vaccine is administered widely.
Now we're going to close out, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I enjoyed this time with you. Take the time out to click the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. Like, leave me a brief comment. Follow me on Instagram, _Jess_Royale_NYC. All right, guys, thank you again for joining me, and I do appreciate you. Please stay safe. Keep your loved ones safe. I love you. See you soon.